Okay, so in this video, let us discuss Codeforces Educational Round 86 Division 2. I'm sorry for being a little late. Let's discuss problem A. We have been given two integers x and y, and we can do some operations. We can pay $8 and increase or decrease size of any one integer by 1. We can pay $B and increase or decrease size of, no, sorry, not size. We can increase or decrease both integers by 1. So the only difference is one of the integers we can perform if we pay $8, whereas if we pay B whatever we do, if we increase or decrease, it happens on both the integers. What is our goal? We have to make both x and y 0, and we have to spend minimum amount of dollars. So this is easy question only. We have been given t test cases. Let us discuss the test case only. Suppose x is 1, y is 3, and these are a and b values. So suppose x equal to 1 and y equal to 3 and a equal to 391 and b equal to 555. Now we have to make x and y both equal to 0. So what kind of operations can I do? I can make x 0 and then y 0 by just using $8. Like I can do one operation and make x equal to 0. In that way, I would have spent $391. Then if I have to make y 0, I have to decrease it by how much? 3. So I have to do this 3 more times, right? Which basically means I need to apply the first operation, that is spend $8 3 times for y to become 0 and 1 time for x to become 0. So in all, I need to apply first operation 4 times. If we do the math, we will get this as the amount. But now let us do something else. Let us decrease y to 1. When I decrease y to 1, I have used 391 into 2. Because I have done the first operation on y 2 times. And according to the first operation, you spend $8 in increasing or decreasing a number by 1. If I have to decrease y to 1 from 3, I have to do it twice. So how much will I spend? 2, 18, 1 here, so 7. Now my x is 1, y is also 1. If I apply second operation, that is spend $B to decrease both by 1, I will get both are equal to 0. My x and y both will become 0 if I apply second operation. How many times should I apply second operation? Once. So what will be the total amount? 7, 7. See, we get the total amount as 1337. Why is 1337 printed? Because among these two, which is smaller, we need to print that. So we need to apply this approach to every such kind of problem. If y is already 0 and x is already 0, we don't have to do anything. So we print 0. So let us look at my code, what I wrote. I took the input x, y, a, b, and I declared two sum variables, sum1, sum2. My sum1 is x plus y into a, which basically means I am using the first operation for both the numbers until both the numbers become 0. For example, if x is 1 and y is 3, if I have to make both the numbers 0, I need to do 4 operations. Sorry, I need to do 4 times the first operation. That is why I have written sum1 is x plus y into a. Other option would be what? If x is greater than y or greater than or equal to y, I will make x equal to y. Until x becomes y, I will use first operation. After that, when x is equal to y, I will use second operation. And similarly, I will do it if y is greater than x. So what is my sum2? My sum2 is sum of these two. Basically, if x is greater than y, I will bring x to y by doing the first operation. Once x and y are equal, I will do the second operation, that is pay b dollars. Initially, I'll pay $a till x is equal to y. Then I will pay b dollars until both are equal to 0. And similarly, if y is greater than x, I will bring y to x by using $a. And how many times I will do it? These many times. Y minus x into a will be total amount. The number of times I will do is y minus x, and total amount will be the number of times into $a. And in the end, I will print minimum of both the sums. Basically, minimum of this sum and this sum is this, right? So in my code, the minimum will be this and this will be printed. So that was the first one. Let us see the second one. We have been told there is a string, it has a period k, s of I equal to s of I plus k. K is a minimum positive integer which satisfies this property. They have given some examples, and we are being asked to find a string t which is a subsequence of s and follows these conditions. Basically, when you see this problem, you will not understand, but it's actually simple only. Let us look at my code, what I wrote. Actually, I am just comparing, I am first checking if the string contains only zeros or contains only ones. If it contains only zeros or only ones, I will print that string only. That itself is that itself is string s. Otherwise, like I had explained in my previous video for alternating subsequence, I will check if the first element is a 0, and then I will print the pattern 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, because 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1 pattern will satisfy all the 4 conditions. Otherwise, I'll print 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. So actually, this is not so easy for me to explain. I still tried, but then I don't think you would have got to know what to actually do. I suggest you look at the editorial or you try it by yourself once. I'll try to make another complete video on this problem. It's difficult for me to explain because I have to take many examples, and currently I don't have the time to do so. So I'll try it some other time. Thanks for watching. Bye.